Oh, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, OP. Yes, OP.
Yes,
Yes. So today we are going to talk about a mission that is around the earth and it is visible from the earth, and how do people survive there. Unlike all the survival missions that we do where we go to moon and sun and Mars and wherever we are being called, this is a place where astronauts and humans actually live. But it's not earth. Do you know which place am I talking about?
ISS.
Which is that place?
Mm,
ISS.
ISS, ISS.
It is the International Space Station. Yes, it is the ISS. That is what we're talking about. And for the round one, we are going to begin there only. For the first round, we are going into the space. We have four barrels over here, and we are going to begin round one here. So, what is going to happen? You have four barrels, and these have questions related to the International Space Station. So, let us have a look and start our very first round. And I have given you the controller access now. So, what are the kind of questions you can expect? First of all, how to survive in the International Space Station. Of course, that is a major thing that we have. But other types, it is actually very difficult to survive in the International Space Station because even from the morning, when you want to wake up in the morning, you may see sunlight that is over there. That is how bright the sun is, and it falls on your eyes, and you might feel like waking up. It's the start of the day. But on the International Space Station, there is no concept of sunrise or sunset. On the International Space Station, there is a sunrise after every 45 minutes and a sunset too after every 45 minutes, because they are spinning around the earth every 90 minutes. And that is why they're able to see a new sunrise every 45 minutes, as the earth is also rotating and they are also orbiting around the earth. Things are very fast there. So they have to use artificial lights. And when we're talking about artificial lights, they don't have the same feeling as the natural sunlight. So if somebody tells you stay in a completely dark room and wake up whenever we turn on the light, that's not the same feeling. But the astronauts have to adapt themselves, and they have no concept of really sunrise, nighttime, daytime, because they see night and day every 45 minutes. And that is why there are inbuilt lights to make them capable of surviving there, so that they don't feel and they don't lose the concept of time. There are inbuilt clocks of 12 hours, like this is this time, this is the time on earth, and this is how you can keep a contact. The other question is, what does space smells like? So space does not smells like here on earth. Whenever you go to a new place, it smells different. But in space, in the International Space Station, there is one peculiar smell, and that is the smell of gunpowder. There is no actual explosive in the space station. Still, the combined smell of all the different parts that are there, this is how the smells space smells like, if we see how the astronauts have described it. Another question you might find is, first of all, what are the missions to International Space Station known as? So they are not just known as simply missions, but they're actually known as expedition. So whenever you see a NASA astronaut who is doing an International Space Station mission, you'll always see they went to the mission Expedition 73. This is the life from Expedition 75. On the Expedition 78, this is astronauts went to and did a spacewalk. So why do they use the word expedition? Because that is what the missions to ISS are known as. And then there is one more thing. It is summertime now almost, and we use refrigerators a lot. And refrigerators are helpful because we can put milk inside it, we can put our ice creams inside it, and they're very cool whenever we open the door. But in the International Space Station, there is no concept of refrigerator and fridges. They have to keep their food safe still. How are they able to keep their food before without any spoilage if they have no refrigerators? They use something, a new technique by which they extract all the water out. Because what scientists realize is, why does this thing go bad? It goes bad when it is fresh, and the water inside it, if it is still fresh, if the water is still present, after a few days the chemical reactions happens and the thing gets spoiled. But what if you dry it? What if you extract the water outside it? It can be edible for a very, very long time. And this happens with what fruit? This happens with raisins. That we have kishmish. How are kishmish or raisins made? We have grapes which are green. They are now in so many colors. Red grapes are also there. Black, purple grapes are also there. But let's talk about the green ones. So green grapes, it has a lot of water juice inside it, grape juice. But if you keep the grapes outside in sunlight, they will slowly, slowly dry and dry. And before drying, the grapes might get rotten in just 2 3 days. It might get some fungus inside it, but after it has dried, and it has become a kishmish. It has changed its color to brown. It's all squeezed in, and there is no more water remaining. It's all thick, thick. It's not like you bite it and sprinkles are coming out. It's not like that. It's very different. So what happens now is water has been extended out, and now you can use that raisin for months and months and even years. It's not rotten. It's not going to give you food poisoning. It's actually good for your health. Similarly, using this concept, all the type of things that astronauts have to eat, they make them here on Earth, and then they make them in a way that they extract all the water outside. So even if they want to eat something like, let's say, if they want to eat noodles, so what are they going to do? They're going to extract all the water out of those noodles and they're going to take them. But now noodles are already dried. So let us take example of something else which has some moisture inside it. Let's suppose they want to eat something which is not made up of bread, because bread is not good and they cannot really eat breads in space. The crumbs are going to fall here and there, but they want to eat an apple, let's say, or they want to eat some sprouts, or they want to eat something else, a salad or a type of vegetable, or some type of toast that they want to drink or they want to eat. Now what is going to happen with those dishes is they have it all extracted, and sometimes even they make a paste out of it, just like we use toothpaste. And then they use that paste, either they can just eat directly from that paste type of thing, or otherwise they have that ingredient, that dry fruit, and then they add the water inside it, and then they have a heater. They don't have a refrigerator, but they have a heater. They put all of this food inside it, and then using the water, it gains up the moisture once again, and they are able to eat it, and the taste is same how it tastes here on Earth. Just like we have Maggie is dry, we add water inside it, and there is also cup noodles. So cup noodles, what do? You add hot water, keep them for 2 minutes, and then you can eat them. So similar to that, there are so many different kinds of dishes that have been made now, and they are all used by astronauts to maintain and survive there. And what all is available to drink in the ISS? There is coffee, there is tea, there is orange juice, all type of things. One more thing you might find is what kind of medicines do every astronaut has to eat. This is the a vitamin which they cannot find in the International Space Station. Why? So here on Earth, all the stuff that we eat, it's going to get us minerals, nutrients, vitamins. But for a very specific vitamin, which is the vitamin D, we get it from sunlight. Mostly, we get it from sunlight rather than food. And the astronauts cannot go outside of the ISS and take a sun bath, and they have to use very strong radiation. So they have to use very, very strong sun shields to protect themselves, and that is why they do not get any vitamin D. And for this case, if they want to use vitamin D, what do they have to do? They have to use tablets, and they eat tablets every day of vitamin D. And with that, we have last 10 seconds remaining before we go to our next destination. So, everybody in 3, 2, 1, and now we have taken back the axis. So, we have taken back the axis, and now we are going to begin our round 2 very, very soon. So, for round 2, we have to go here on the moon. That is where the next set of barrels is going to be. So let us go to Earth and let us go to the moon. The access will be provided to you very, very shortly in 3, 2, and 1. So now round 2 has begun and you can solve barrels onto the moon. Again, these barrels are all related to how to survive on the International Space Station. What do you see over here? You might see things like more questions. Where do astronauts sleep? So we were talking about the morning routine. Let's talk about the night routine. So if they want to sleep after their day is over, they want to sleep, they cannot sleep like us on beds. We sleep on beds because there is gravity and our body is being attracted to the ground. It is being pulled down. But what about the astronauts? They are feeling weightless. There is microgravity in space. So even if they are trying to sleep, they are not going to get the same feeling. And they might, like, if they are moving and with a little bit of movement too, their body can start spinning, or it can go outside somewhere. So it can be very uncomfortable to sleep in the space. So what happens is they attach their body to some harnesses so that their body does not swings anywhere when they're in the deep sleep. And the next thing is they also use sleeping bags, and then they attach these sleeping bags too. So with the help of the attachments, with the sleeping bags and the other harnesses, they are able to sleep peacefully and then wake up the next day whenever their alarm clock rings up, because the concept of sunlight is not there. And the International Space Station is a very, 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 very big project. It is a project where many countries are taking part inside it, and that is why it is known as the International Space Station. It's not a nations, but it is 15 different countries that are coming together, and they have built this space station, all the different parts. Now, one more thing is, whenever it comes to the kind of, okay, yes, when an astronaut has to, what do we say, they have to have some fun because they cannot work all day. So what do they do to have fun is they can either look down from the window of ISS, or otherwise they can draw something, they can do some gardening. There are some plants that they can grow, they can play music there, they can draw things. So there are so many other things. They can perform experiments, they can play with toys, they can call their family back home. So even astronauts get the weekends off, like Saturday, Sunday, they have off, and they have no work that time, and they have fun all day. And even in the evenings, like after they have done a certain amount of work, they are free to do whatever they want, because these people have to stay in a very fixed space for 6 months, and it is very hard. Because imagine how it we every one of us felt like when we had to quarantine in our homes, and that was not even for entire day, and that was not even for a month or two. Imagine you are stuck inside just one or two rooms or your home. You cannot go outside no matter what. Everything you want is going to to survive for 6 months. You have to pack it already in your home, and then nobody's going to visit you in these 6 months. You have some people, but they're living with you only. It can get very boring, and it can get very frustrating, annoying too. But the astronauts have to still stay there. It is, of course, space. They have the beautiful views, and it's a beautiful job still. To stay happy and to able to do their work, they have these free time where they're able to do other things. Another important thing is exercise. Because there is microgravity, they have to exercise daily for 2 hours. Because if they don't do exercise, what is going to happen is they are going to lose their muscles, and they're going to lose their bones. Because our human body is made according with the gravity on earth. With years and years and millions of years of evolution, we have reached this stage. From all our ancestors, all different kind of species, if we go in space where gravity is less, our body gets affected physically, and that is why astronauts have to exercise every day. And there is one interesting thing. Now if they want to do strength training, now what happens is, when you're trying to lift something, so if you are lifting a 2 kg thing, it is not that heavy. If you are lifting a 10 kg thing, now it is okay, a little bit more heavier and it's harder to do. And if you keep on training like that, you can do your strength training, you can do your exercises, different things, you're training your muscles. But what is going to happen in the International Space Station is, there is no big concept of gravity and weight and pain. Why? Because even the 2 kg thing is light, and the 10 kg is also light, because they themselves are so healthy. At least there are like 60 kg, 100 kg people there, but they all are so lightweight, they're floating in space. So what is the 2 kg or 10 kg dumbbell going to do? And that is why when astronauts have to exercise in the International Space Station, they have different type of modified exercise, not the regular one, because their body is not going to feel the pain. Their muscles are not going to tear apart and actually go through that exercise. So they have to actually feel that pain. Because of weightlessness, even their exercise is different. And now we have 2 minutes and 22 more seconds to go for our second round to get over. So everybody hurry up. Only 48 seconds remaining. Everybody hurry up. Just last 48 seconds remaining for all these barrels to go away, and then we will go back to the space. Last 30 seconds remaining, everyone. Hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Last 30 seconds remaining. Last 25 seconds remaining. And last 20 seconds. So win 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We have taken back the controller action, and now we are going to go and leave this place. So we are talking about the International Space Station and how to survive on the International Space Station. But one thing we did not discuss is what we did not discuss till now is the different kind of innovations that have happened because of humans going to space and traveling there. So let us discuss them a little bit of that. The smartphones that we have, right? These smartphones that we have, or these camera phones, like the camera which is behind the phone, or the headphones that we wear which have no wire. So currently I'm wearing a one which has wire. Why do you think I'm wearing the one which has wire, even though there are wireless type of headphones which are available? Let me see how many people who are good with technology over here. So we have Shaurya, Ivan, Abhishek, Gracie, Harsh, and all the other students too. Why do you think the difference between a headless, a wireless headset is there, or the one which has a wire? So it can be similar, like if you're talking about headphones or if you're talking about earphones. They both have wires and they both are without any wire, with the help of Bluetooth as well. So what do you think? What is the difference between them, and why I am wearing a one which has a wire? Yes.
The difference between them is that the wire one
Wire
gives
one gives fast
length
response.
to wearing
Wire gives
wire
fast
because
response. Wire gives fast.
Okay, so I am hearing that the wire one is faster. And what else? What apart from faster?
consumes less space, consumes less internet.
It consumes less internet, maybe. So maybe it is faster. It is consuming less internet or less data, less power. What else?
It it radiation it radiation
You
or
don't have to charge.
I have to charge. Yes, charging is definitely a case. But what happens is over here I'm using a wire with wire one because we are doing this a live stream, right? This is a live stream, and if you have played other games where you're talking with your friends, what happens is you might have noticed that when you are playing and you're talking something, so your friends might see you in the game doing something, but your voice is coming later. So there is this issue of latency in your audio. So to remove this latency thing, because we this only happens with live streaming usually, so the signal can travel faster and it can go very very fast into the system that is there, like in the CPU, really fast with the wire. But with the Bluetooth, the path is a little bit more time consuming, and because of that there is a few seconds, like even microseconds, not even some seconds, but there is some latency. Now what happens is inside the space they wanted to not use these wire, because if you see how a spaceship looks like, even like behind me there are too many buttons, but there is also one more thing, too many wires. So in the old, when we did not have anything wireless, so there are wires of mouse and keyboard and CPU and different desktops and all those thousand boards which are over there on the ISS. So many wires are there, like literally thousands and thousands and thousands of wires are there. I'll show you a picture of ISS and see how many wires you will be able to see. It's a very cramped place. So let us see how the International Space Station from the insides looks like. And it is going to have very very high number of wires. And what do they have to do later on is they have to make something where these wires are not so much, because if there are so many wires, what is going to happen, they are going to get tangled with one another. So over here, if you are able to see this thing, we have an astronaut, and you will be able to see just how many wires are next to them when they are dealing with something. Okay, so here we go, and just give me a second. Okay, yes, here we go. So you will be able to see it on your screen in just a few seconds. So this is how the International Space Station looks from inside. You can see so many wires which are over here. This is the node one, this is where the astronauts are, but look at all these wires. Extra wires over here, everywhere there are just too many wires. There is not a place which is good. It's like too many wires to deal with. And this is why what the astronauts had to do is, or the scientists, NASA scientists, what they had to do is, they had to design something which is not going to use any wires. And that is why they started building things like wireless. So what are the things which are wireless, can you think of? One is of course, so you can send these things. One second, yes. So one thing is, of course, the headphones that we have, they can be wireless. Uh, there is an issue of latency or so, but the astronauts have to communicate it here back on Earth, and before the actual signal from the, like their audio going, they can just text if something is wrong. So they don't have a very very big problem when it comes to the latency. The latency is already too high because the distance is too great. What other things are there which are wireless that you can think of?
internet, mouse, keyboard.
Mouse,
Mouse and keyboard. So even the wireless mouse that we have is also made to be used on ISS, and then it was later on commercialized and we started using them. So the wireless headphones, wireless mouse that we have. Now we have things like wireless, I think speakers are also there, Bluetooth speakers. So all of this technology actually came from the International Space Station only. Before that, there was no concept of these things. And then there are so many other things. What other things are there? There is this camera phones as well, because they wanted to take pictures, and those huge cameras were not so good. They wanted something in which there is an option of camera, there is an option of calling, and there are some other options as well. And that is how a camera phone was born. And something else is the kind of food that the NASA astronauts eat. So the NASA astronauts, when they are on the International Space Station, as we were talking about the food previously, they cannot eat all type of food. They can only eat the type of food which is having no water. Water has been extracted out, and then you add the water. But this removes so many types of things that they are not able to eat, and all those minerals they are not able to consume. So they use supplements, but they also use a type of formula which is now known as baby formula. So have you seen, like, if you any of you have younger siblings, have you seen your parent feeding them a kind of powder? They take a spoon of powder, they mix it inside milk or water, and then the baby drinks it, and they are all healthy. They do not need to drink or eat anything else after they have consumed that bottle which had the powder inside it, which is known as baby formula. Have you seen it if you have small siblings which are
Yes,
very, very young?
yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, right. So where was it invented? It was invented by NASA only, because they wanted to feed it to the astronauts who cannot consume everything they want, but they need to have all these good things. So just like they made for the astronauts, later on it was adapted, because it was very easy for the body to digest, and even the small, very young human beings that we have, that are babies, are able to digest it very easily. And that is how baby formula was born. And then there are so many other things that we have, like air purifiers we have, or we have water purifiers, and so many other things which were made to be surviving on the International Space Station. And then later on they were adapted, and we started using them in our daily lives. Now with that, we have came to the end of the session, and before we end, we are going to attempt something. We try to land on the space station that we have outside the earth. So there is a space station outside the earth in Kalam Labs as well. Where is it? And try to land it just like how I will show you right now. So first you go very, very close to it. So if we are over here, and the gravity is turned on in your all of your devices, so you will have to use very, very quick, like you cannot be really slow like me. You'll have to use your booster mode. So if you are using speedy spaceship, if you are using star spaceship, that is great. If you have not yet claimed them, you should claim. And where is the number that you can contact if you want to use these things? So I'll quickly tell you what is the place where you can get all of these things. So this is the number where you can get these things. If you see over here, 9125933774. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, share any reactions, buy any assets, anything, this is the number. You can note it down and messages, and we will reply as soon as possible. So this is how you have to land it over here. Like, come very, very close and try to land it like this. So I'll be giving you the control access. You can either land it on the helipad or over here, like very, very close. You have to decrease the speed a lot, and then only you will be able to land. So I have given you the controller access now. You try it. I will be only giving it for 1 minute, and then I will be taking it back. So just have 1 minute, come very, very close to the earth, and then you will be able to land. So just 30 more seconds, and then I'll be checking back the controller access, and we will see who is at the top on the leaderboards as well. And just 10 more seconds. Okay, so just 10 more seconds. And let us take a look at the leaderboards as well. So I am taking back the controller access now. And let us take a look at the leaderboards that we have all the students. So out of these were the top three that we have: Abhishek 22, Gracie Mehta, and Harsh Shakshina. So congratulations, you have been very, very curious. And this is the time that we begin our 10-second counter. So let us begin our 10-second counter, and then we are going to say, we love science. So in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everyone into the magic mic together now. We
Love
love,
science.
Science. We love science.
we love science.
We love
We love
science.
science.
Love
Louder, louder.
Shopee. We love
We
science
love
Shopee. Love
science.
science.
We
We
love
love
We love
science.
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 Thank you everyone for joining, and bye bye. This is Astro Roxy signing off. We will meet again at 8 p.m. Not 8 p.m., 7 p.m. before that. Thank you everyone for joining, and bye bye everyone.